Welcome to this video on the energy conservation principle planning developed by the Return to Work team. This video is geared towards individuals living with the effects of acquired brain injury, or ABI, who are interested in learning more about how to incorporate the energy conservation principle of planning into the return to work process. Let's begin with a brief summary of energy conservation. Energy conservation is a set of principles or guidelines that help people use their energy more efficiently or wisely. The goal of energy conservation is to reduce the amount of energy a person spends throughout the day to protect their physical and mental energy reserves in order to participate in daily activities. Anyone can use energy conservation principles, and they are especially helpful for those who experience fatigue. This video focuses on planning. Prioritizing, pacing, positioning, and patience are the other four energy conservation principles. Check out our other resources for more information. Planning refers to the ability to problem solve ahead of time and to organize the tasks that you need to do. Planning helps people balance work tasks and personal tasks, such as taking care of a home or self-care. When we think about planning, it asks us, what are you going to do? To plan effectively, you will need a system to keep track of the tasks that you need to complete and the events that you need to attend. This might be an agenda or a calendar. It's a personal preference whether you use a paper-based or electronic system. However, if your place of employment requires you to use an electronic calendar, it might make sense for you to use the system consistently across work and home life. You can use your calendar to keep track of tasks that need to be completed and to schedule time to work on tasks. When scheduling tasks, consider scheduling heavy tasks or tasks that use a lot of energy for when you have the most energy to do them. Schedule rest breaks and consider slightly overestimating how long it will take you to do a task. This will give you a buffer in case the task takes more time to complete. You might also want to think about how to apply the principle of planning in your personal life. This might look like keeping track of appointments, scheduling travel time, and scheduling self-care activities. Planning requires you to ask questions. Next, we'll take a look at 3 workplace scenarios and relevant questions to guide planning. Scenario 1. You have a meeting next week that you are required to be in person for. However, you are not currently driving and you will need to arrange alternative transportation. Some questions to ask yourself to help plan for the meeting are: what time is the meeting? Where is it? And approximately for how long? How will you get to the meeting? Will you take public transit, a taxi, rideshare, or ask a friend or family? Will you get home in the same or different way? What will you need to bring with you to the meeting? Will you need to bring food or beverages? Would you need to pack symptom management items such as earplugs or sunglasses? Once you have a list of the items that you need to pack it the day or night before the meeting. And what kind of meeting is it? Do you have an active role? And will you need to plan anything for it? Pause the video now to think about other questions to help guide planning for the meeting. Scenario 2. You have an upcoming increase to the number of days and hours you are working per week. Some questions to ask yourself to plan for the increase are: what changes need to happen in your personal life to make this increase possible? Do you have any caregiving responsibilities that need to be changed? Do you have any appointments or plans that will need to be rescheduled? How might this added day affect your commute to work? As you increase your workdays and hours, it's expected that ABI symptoms will increase. What are the symptoms that you're currently experiencing, and how have they impacted the return to work process so far? What can you do or use to manage the symptoms? Pause the video now to think about other questions to help guide planning for this change. Scenario 3. In 3 weeks, you are required to work late for an event. Some questions to ask yourself to plan for the event are: how late will you be working? And how will transportation be affected? What arrangements will need to be made for you to work later than usual? How will you plan for any caregiving responsibilities? And what will you do to plan to eat dinner for that night? Consider whether you'll need to condense your nightly routine. Will you be working a full day, or will your hours be shifted for the late event? How will you conserve your energy throughout the day? When will you plan to take breaks? And how will you recover from the late night event? Will you plan to take the next day or morning off? Pause the video one last time to think about other questions to help guide planning for this event. We hope this video has given you some new ideas on how to incorporate the energy conservation principle of planning into your life. Support is available. Contact OBIA today to see what programs and services are available to you. Contact the helpline by calling 1-800-263-5404 or email support@obia.on.ca.